So, hi everyone. Today I want to talk about a dish that means a lot to me and my family, Zhacai, or well, a kind of pickle, if you wanna consider it to a kind of a Canadian or Western dish. If you have never heard of it, that's totally fine. It's a it's a traditional Chinese food. It's been sealed up in China for such a long time. It never leak out until nowadays in the modernized day. It's a kind of pickle master stem from China. For the taste, it's salty, or maybe for some pints it's a little bit spicy, based on what kind of brand you choose nowadays. And honestly, something we eat at almost every meal: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But for us, it's more than just a food. It's a part of our family history, our culture, our identity. I asked my parents when they first started eating jacai, and they told me they can't even remember when the exact date. Like when at the first time they remember things, they can find this kind of dish in their daily life. So it backs to their childhood around 1980s. When they were living in Xi'an, which is a Middle West city in China, with a very heavy historical feature. Back then, it wasn't like today's supermarket snacks. You couldn't just grab a small packet like what I have now. It's a very famous brand now with a little spicy taste. What I mentioned about the Wujiang Zhacai. So you couldn't just grab a small packet like this. Zhacai came in a big ceramic jars when you wanted some. The shop picker would take it out, maybe just one or two pieces, and lay it to you. If you want, you can pack it up with the paper bags or plastic bags. It was sold loose, almost like pickles from a deli. My mom described eating it in the small cubes, mostly at breakfast or dinner, just like we might eat a pickle here in Canada. And technically, you can replace the pickle with the jacai in the burgers. It will be totally fine because their tastes are too similar. It's super similar. Although it might be a little bit more spicy, but that will be fine. So things began to change in 1990s. The big clay jars in the market were replaced by plastic vacuum sealed packages like what I shown you right now. So this that shift was about more than just convenience. It's a reflection on Chinese modernization and industrialization, especially on their food supply. My grandma even told me that back in her time, jacai in those large jars was considered a luxury. It was hard to get, and having it at home was special. So if you consider when my grandma was in 1960s, 1970s, which is the Cultural Revolution area, that's that's really uh, that really makes sense. Yeah. So today we can get jacai in all sorts of flavors: spicy, fragrant, or regional. My parent mentioned that back then it was just salty. That's the only taste in the 80s or even earlier. Now it's been refined, diversified in a way that evaluation of Zhacai mirrors the social and economic change in China has gone through in the past 40 years, as I call it, the reform and reopen. Zhacai is made from the stem of the master plant, Brassica junacea. It's preserved through salting, pressing, drying, and fermenting. The fermentation gave it a unique flavor and texture. Historically, it was a practical way to preserve vegetables without refrigeration back in 200 years ago when this kind of dish was invented. But it also became something symbolic, a reliable, comforting taste that stuck with people no matter where life took them. For many Chinese families, it's a little bit of a familiarity at the table. Nowadays, in the industrialization production line, we're kind of trying to simulate this kind of original symbolic taste, which is doesn't make any sense if you take a look at it on the industrialization's meaning. But whatever, it's a kind of culture. So let's take a closer look at the biological behind Zhacai. It's made from a special type of master plant called Brassica junacea, which is Zhacai. Same name of the dish in Chinese. This plant is native to soils in China, especially around Sichuan province, which is known for its bold, flavorful casein. It thrives in mild, humid climates and prefers well-drained, loamy soil. Farmers usually grow it during the cooler seasons, as it's tolerant to light frost, but doesn't do well in the extreme heat. So that's the kind of reason why you can find it in the past 100 years in Sichuan province, but you can't move it to East China, maybe around Shanghai, Zhejiang, Jiangsu, this traditional rural area. The eligible part used for Zhacai is the secant stem, not the leaves. After harvesting, the stem is salted, pressed, dried, yada yada yada, as the process I mentioned above. Fermentation introduced lactic acid bacteria, which not only helps preserve the vegetable, but can also support gut health, just like in kimchi or yogurt. However, this is doubtful. It will need a further exploration research to prove that. But what we can make sure is that nutritionally, Zhacai contains dietary fiber, a bit of vitamin C, and plant-based antioxidant. However, because it's heavily salted during the pickle process, it's very high in sodium. That means, while it's a flavorful side dish, it's best eating in moderation, especially for those watching their salt intake. So, it's super salt. Technically, it's not good for your health if you are not prepared to take a lot of sodium. So, to make a conclusion, learn all this helped me to see that Zhacai isn't just a cultural reach, it's also biological fascinating. A simple stem vegetable carries layers of science, agriculture, health, history. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this gave you a deeper appreciation for the food that quickly connect us with the real life.